and welcome to Eat Well with Parkinson's. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Paula.
And we'll be your host today. A special welcome to our live audience guests. Thank you for being here. It is wonderful to see you. And welcome to all of you joining us at home. Paula, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Great. I have a question for you. Did you receive any fan mail after our last recording?
No, only my son's smiling at my video.
I received one from my 9-year-old daughter. Yeah, she suggests that her class come and join us in the live audience one month.
Oh, that would be great.
So what's the topic today that we'll be talking about?
We're talking about power foods for Parkinson's disease. And we talked about the Mediterranean Mind diet last month, so we're just continuing to highlight those type of foods.
All right, so for those of you who didn't join us last month, Eat Well with Parkinson's is a nutritional and cooking TV series. Each month we will be recording and focusing on a specific topic as it relates to eating well and living well with Parkinson's disease. And we will be sharing delicious, nutritious, and quick recipes. In addition, we have Paula's expertise here sharing some nutritional information with all of you. What's on the menu today, Paula?
Today we're making some fish tacos accompanied by a pear and red cabbage slaw in corn tortillas with a lime crema drizzle. And I also made an extra dish for you to sample. It's a black bean and cauliflower rice dish.
Sounds delicious. You said the topic today is eating well for brain health. So power foods that we can choose and eat on a regular basis that I presume can optimize our brain health and help us in that way. Why did you choose the recipes today?
Okay, so the thing that I wanted to choose most, highlight really is eating fish. So it's really important for us to eat fish. For brain health, and some neurologists actually recommend eating fish 2 times a week. And the reason why fish is so important is because it has good healthy fats. And did you know our brain is a large predominant amount of our brain is actually fat?
My goodness.
So when we look to support the brain, we want healthy fats, healthy proteins, and those good omega-rich oils. And then when we look at omega-rich oils, those are found more in our cold water fish, which isn't really around here, but you still can get salmon, tuna, mackerel, herring, sardines. Those are great cold water fish. And the other fishes, the white fishes that we're going to cook with today, we have flounder, haddock, cod. Those have about 25% of the same omegas that the cold water fishes. And it's still great because the EPA and DHA of the fish is very important for our brain health, brain signaling, cell membranes in the brain, and really just keeping our nerves and our brain healthy. So like I said, the recommendation is fish twice a week. And even if you're not a real fish eater, but you like salmon or shrimp or clams, eating just any kind of seafood twice a week is really what is recommended. So that's what we're going to do. We're trying to make fish easy to eat, and that's why I'm going to show you a quick, easy recipe.
Should we get started?
Sure.
Sounds great.
Okay. So today we are using a white flounder fish, so it's a nice light fish. What we're going to do is make a quick little marinade for it. So it's olive oil. I'm going to put this. It's olive oil. It's a little bit of lemon juice. So it's 2 tablespoons olive oil, a tablespoon of lemon juice, and some garlic. And I like to show my everybody some gadgets to make things easier for cutting and chopping. So this is a, can you zoom in on this? Okay, so what this is it's a rocking garlic press. So you take the garlic, this has already been large portions minced, but we're gonna make it a little bit finer by just rocking our wrist back and forth to try and make it nice and soft and small for this marinade. So I have the garlic. I'm just going to put it in the olive oil and the lime juice as much as I can. Get out of it. Okay. And then we're going to do a little bit of salt and pepper.
And you said this is a marinade that goes on the fish before you cook it?
Yes. Okay, so you probably could do it 20 minutes before. We're just doing it a little bit instantly, but about 20 minutes before. So then you just brush it on the fish to give it a little bit more flavor. Of course, the other ingredients in our tacos are also going to give us a really nice flavor.
Is this a
Okay.
local fish?
This is a local flounder. We're very fortunate to be able to connect with some local fishmongers for our cooking program as part of the connections that East End Food Institute has. So we're really fortunate to get some fresh flounder. You could make this with any kind of fish you like. And the other thing is a lot of these restaurants, because we live near the water, they always have fish tacos on the menu. So I make it my habit to get fish tacos when I go out so I can taste how they do it. If you're more of a spicy person, you could do a fish taco with blackened seasoning or Cajun spice to give it a little bit more flavor. Okay, so this is a pan with some olive oil.
I turned it down because it was
Yeah.
getting warm.
Okay, so once it's hot, you're just gonna cook the fish on 3 minutes on each side. I'm just gonna lay it down there. That's on low. Okay. And while it's cooking, Sarah, you want to start working on the
Yeah.
slaw.
So this is the pear and red cabbage slaw that Paula has put together, and we have the ingredients in front of us. Paula, you mentioned that you wanted to demo the best way of chopping the red cabbage. Do you want to do that first?
Yeah, okay. So the thing about chewing with Parkinson's disease, sometimes you might have a little bit less energy in the evening meal. So it might be better to have things very soft or very small pieces. So the beauty of cabbage is if you cut it really thin and you marinate it by massaging it a little bit, it gets a little bit softer. So today we're going to use about half a red cabbage. What I like to do, and you might also need your care partner to help you cut some of the things. I always realize that when I make a recipe, I'm like, wow, this might be a little difficult for some. So what I like to do is I like to cut on the inside because the knife grips it better. And you're really just going to try and be very thin, as thin as possible, just to kind of get it easy for you to eat. Okay.
That's great.
And the good thing about the red cabbage is it's loaded with soluble and insoluble fibers, which is good for our gut health. And it's also loaded with brain healthy antioxidants and polyphenols. The anthocyanins are great because they are really good for brain signaling and they're very good for body and brain support. Okay, so I'm not going to cut all this up.
And while you do that, I'll go ahead and start the marinade. So we're going to whisk together 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And I'm actually having this recipe, but the recipe,
Hold on
yeah.
1 second.
Okay.
What I want to do is I just want to show you how to massage it
Oh, I like that.
a little bit. So we're going to just take this oil and put it into this bowl for a second. So when you massage, can you grab the salt while you're over there?
Yeah.
When you massage the cabbage, what it does is it releases those good phytochemicals and antioxidants, and thus a little bit of the bitterness comes out, but it also makes the texture soft. So what we do is we put our cabbage in a bowl, we put a little bit of salt, a tablespoon of olive oil, and what we're doing is we're macerating it or breaking down the structure. So you'll hear that crunch or crack, and as we soften it and crunch and crack it, or we call it massaging it, it actually gets softer. Some of the sulforaphane, which is another powerful vegetable antioxidants, get released, so that's a little bit of the bitterness, so it gets a little bit sweeter. But as you can see, it's taking on a whole different life than this one right here. So that's why we do it. We soften it to make it a little bit easier to chew and a little bit more palatable. Sometimes people don't like that bristly feeling of cabbages, like slaws, if they're not marinated.
I do this with my kale salads at home as
Yes, it's the same type of thing. Okay, so you can get back to your
well. All right, great.
your job here.
My marinade. Let me grab a whisk
Okay.
here. All right. So we already have 3 tablespoons of oil, 2 tablespoons of the rice wine vinegar, which is right here. The lime juice, we have 2 tablespoons of lime juice. Honey, salt, and pepper. Oh, I love honey in different marinades and dressings. All right, there's our honey.
Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit more of this cabbage in here.
Let me grab our pepper. The fish is smelling delicious already.
Yeah, what we're doing is we're trying to get it a little bit opaque and softened and a little bit brown. But because it's a nice thin texture already, it's not gonna take that long to cook.
All right, so if you're making this at home, you can make the marinade and then separately you would add the red cabbage that you've sliced. And in addition to that, you would sprinkle it with salt, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and then you would massage it to break it down as Paula was talking about. And then we're gonna add,
You're gonna add,
let's see, we're gonna dice the pear.
so we like to have a little bit of sweet and a little bit of savory. So the honey, sometimes it's nice to entice people that don't like to eat vegetables to eat vegetables. So when you make it a little sweet and you put a little bit of fruit with some vegetables, it's more exciting to people and gives them a little bit more reason to try it. And when you say sweet and savory, it's like those hot and sour soups or things that have that combined taste. And sometimes that's just exciting for the tongue and the taste. Okay, so our fish is looking nice and brown and done. So I'm just gonna flip it one more time. And as you can see, it's falling apart, and it's okay for this recipe because this is a fish taco. So we're looking for a nice soft fish, and we're looking just for it to be nice and opaque. So it's almost done cooking. But it's not one beautiful piece, and that's fine because we're gonna really just put them in the tacos. Okay. So Sarah, when you eat pears, do you use pears at home in your recipes?
We eat pears a lot. I have a wonderful scone pear recipe.
Oh,
that is
wow.
delicious. Yeah.
That's great. So
Yeah.
I like people to eat pears because pears is one of those soluble fibers. The skin is as good to eat because it has a lot of the nutrients and antioxidants and phytochemicals in it, but they also have some soluble fiber, and that's good for gut health. And we're going to talk more about gut health as our time together goes on, but gut health is just important through everything we do, trying to add soluble fibers, trying to add colorful fruits and vegetables, and trying to add good healthy fats. So that's usually what the goals of our program are going to be.
And I'm adding, so we have the red cabbage, diced jalapeno. I'm gonna add the pears.
Yes, great. Okay.
Delicious. Okay. And then we have our marinade here, and I'm gonna go ahead and pour that over. And this is cilantro, which I know not everyone loves cilantro.
I think you
I
either
do.
love it or you don't like it because it has a funny taste to you.
If you
So you
don't
can
love it,
admit
is there
it.
something, yeah, or you could substitute for something?
So you could use parsley, you could just leave it out altogether. The reason why it's nice to use herbs in our cooking is herbs provide such a powerful punch. Because we're using such a small amount, they're usually higher in the good nutrients, the antioxidants, but we use a small punch, but if we use some flavoring, it just makes it a little bit nicer and more colorful. So I'm gonna put some cilantro on the fish too, to make a little bit. But parsley is another great substitute for this dish because we're trying to stay in that Latin kind of flavors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Looks great.
So one more thing
Yeah.
we have to do is we need to do our lime crema. Did you have a question?
Not yet. Why don't you start with that and then I'll ask you my questions.
Okay. So one of the things we're going to make, because I feel like when we cook for patients with Parkinson's disease, we want to have something very moist and wet to help us get things down. So the marinated cabbage is going to give us some nice wetness, and the soft fish is going to be nice, but we like to have a lime crema, which is really just like a sour cream, but we're going to use a yogurt for this dish. You can also use a guacamole or a salsa if you like that type of flavor. So this is just a real simple, what it is it's just gonna be lime juice, lime zest, a little bit of salt, and some Greek yogurt. Okay, so I'm just gonna whisk it all together. Okay, so we use half a cup of Greek yogurt, 1 fresh lime juice and zest, and some cilantro and some salt. Okay. And I like to have a little bit of bitterness with a little bit of lemon or lime in my dishes because sometimes it just brings out a little bit brightness. So if we have an extra lime, you might want to squeeze some of it over that fish.
Ooh, good idea.
You have one there?
I sure do. Over the fish?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And here we have some already zested lime for us. And some cilantro. Okay, great. So I think we are doing pretty good.
I think so too. So before we start assembling our fish tacos, are we ready for our Believe It or Not segment?
I think we are.
So each episode, we have created a sweet treat that we shared with some of our colleagues, and we try to have them guess what the secret ingredient is. And these are delicious recipes, and they are also nutritious. So let's see what they had to say.
Would you like to try my chocolate chip cake?
Thank you. Very good.
It has white beans in it.
It's delicious. I love it. I would eat that. I think my kids would eat it.
What do you think?
Good. Tastes homemade. Tastes great.
Okay.
Can I have more?
Sure. So this has special ingredient cannellini beans in it. So to take out some.
Doesn't taste like vegetables at all.
Thank you.
So this has white beans instead of a lot of oil.
Wow, cool. Awesome. Tastes good.
Great.
Great. Yeah.
Glad you
very,
like it.
Very tasty.
Great. So tell me what you think.
It's good.
What do you think of the sweetness and the texture and
It's moist. It's not too sweet. The texture's good. It's nice and soft, and it's light.
would you believe it has cannellini beans in it?
I believe you if you tell me, but it doesn't taste like it does.
Did you make this yourself?
Yes, I made it myself. And I'm interested to see what you think of the taste.
It's light, sweet. Quite a bit of chocolate taste comes through.
Yes. I know everybody loves chocolate, so we always try and put some chocolate in.
But I'm not sure what the secret ingredient is.
So it actually has cannellini beans.
Oh,
Nice soft beans that pull in that
Yes.
soft texture.
oh, perfect. Very healthy.
Okay. Would you make it for your family?
I would. Yes.
Looks delicious. Smells delicious.
Great. Let me know what you think.
Superb, moist, delicious, flavorful.
Would you believe it has cannellini beans in it?
No way.
That was amazing, and I can tell you they really are delicious, and I could not taste the white beans at all. This is a good time to mention that if you would like to access any of our recipes or informational info sheets, you can do so by visiting our website.
Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna plate the tacos. One of the things I like to do is I like to make things look fun so they're more appetizing. One of the things we talk about in Parkinson's, that's another lecture that we're gonna work on, is called food apathy. So you always want things to be colorful, eye appealing, tasty, and in small bites. Okay, so one of the dishes I made to go with our tacos today is a classic rice and bean dish. But what I did is I took rice and beans, and I made what we call cauliflower rice. Let me just get this to show you what it looks like. So cauliflower rice is a rice made with cauliflower. So it has the same texture, so it fools our tongue and our palate into thinking it's rice, but it's actually cauliflower. So what you do is you take your food processor, you even can take a box grater, and you make tiny little pieces and make it the texture of rice. So can you zoom in on that? So it's a nice light texture. It makes sometimes meals not so filling when you have more vegetables and less starchy carbohydrates. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna assemble some of the tacos. So where's your slaw?
We have here the beauty of television. We have a completely finished slaw over here that looks
Okay.
delicious.
All right, so you want to make some tacos for us?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Okay, so
We
I
have
will.
a spoon for the fish.
All right, so we have the lime crema here for drizzling. We're gonna, it's just very
Yeah.
hot. We're gonna put some fish on there. Remember, we want you to eat fish twice a week. This is a nice soft, I feel like flounder is a very easy one for people that like fish. It picks up a lot of the nice flavors and it doesn't have that really fishy flavor.
Put
You
the
can
slaw
also,
on top.
yes, okay. The slaw on top, and then we're just gonna
beautiful.
drizzle it with the lime crema. I'm just gonna grab a little bit of spoon to make it easier. Okay,
Right. Okay.
okay, any other questions? we
Are there any
forget anything?
questions from our live audience? I do have one. So we had a call-in question. Oh, do you have a question for us?
They're ready to taste.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't blame you. It smells delicious. One that came in before we came into the studio today, which was, what are the power foods? And you've already talked about a lot of them. We talked about the healthy fats with the fish, the colorful fruits and vegetables. Are there any other foods that we should be prioritizing for our brain health?
It's those, the healthy fats, any kind of soluble fibers. So you'll find that in your oats, you will find that in your cabbages or your slaws, your pears, the beans that are hidden in our brownie treat, our chocolate chip cake, you'll find that. And also just trying to really get some meals that have protein, good sources of protein, but they're protein sources that are not necessarily red meat or chicken. So like the fish is great, the beans are great, the yogurt is great. So it's really just trying to blend the foods and have these really colorful meals. Another healthy fat is the avocado, and that we usually accompany with some of our Latin American type of meals.
This looks delicious. Should we try a bite?
Sure. I want to just see if there's any, okay. The other thing to try and do is maybe some, I'm just going to make one more, maybe have some seeds and nuts, because those are great protein sources as well. We'll just finish making these other two tacos.
Sounds great, and then we can share them.
Okay. Okay, Sarah, you going to taste one and see what it's like?
They look delicious.
They smell really good.
Does the studio audience get some food?
They do, yes.
Yes.
So join us next month.
Okay.
All right, Paula, this one's for you.
Okay, great, okay. Now we did warm the corn tortillas in the oven. I like to use the corn tortillas because it's a little bit more fiber than the flour tortillas.
How, did you put it on how did you warm them?
I warmed them, we warmed them today in the oven. You can do them on the flat top if you like, but we just warmed them just to be a little bit more efficient with our time. We put them in the oven in tin foil. They were about 250 degrees. Okay.
These are delicious. You can really taste the lime,
The
a
lime.
little hint of garlic. They are absolutely delicious.
The other good thing is I feel like getting people to eat fish is something that's sometimes a challenge, but this makes it a little bit more tasty.
And there are many different flavors too. The fish doesn't overpower it.
Yes.
Well done. Thank you.
Okay.
So we're coming to the end of this episode. Thank you for tuning in. This has been amazing. Thank you, Paula.
Yes.
Next month, we will be here again in LTV's studios in East Hampton. And our topic will be discussing weight management,
And malnutrition
malnutrition.
or healthy eating to prevent nutrition problems.
and
In terms
maintaining a
of
healthy weight.
maintaining a healthy weight.
Yeah, so we hope you'll join us. You can always send your questions in advance if you wish. If you wish to join our live audience, we would love to have you. And we look forward to having you.
We'd like to say our last
Remember,
eating
eat
well, tastes great.
tastes great. Bye now. Thank you.
you.